Okay, before I start this, these shootings that are going on that are not shootings. Okay, and if they're happening, they surely are not happening the way that they're saying. So we have to ask the question, why would this be going on? Well, it's the same reason that you got Jerry Springer and Maury Povich, Oprah, any one of these hosts of television that do the same thing, that this is exactly what this is doing. It's a demoralization of trust between persons. Let's look at the cell phone for a minute. The cell phone. It came out, it was, when I was a kid, you had to actually go home to get your messages. If your mom or your dad or some family member happened to write it down so that you knew that somebody called, otherwise you didn't even know. Then they came out with the answering machine, and people got those, but you still had to go home. But then finally you could access it from another phone, and then when they came out with the cell phone, you could take a phone with you. And so what this does is it starts making it seems like it's making your life easier, but it's really setting everybody up. So then they come out with all of these plans, and one of them was, who's in your 5? And what it is if you found 5 friends that had the same carrier as you, I don't remember, maybe it was Verizon or whoever, or Sprint, those calls to each other, there was no charge. In the beginning, cell phones, every call was charged. There wasn't this unlimited crap. Okay? So every call was charged, incoming and outgoing for the most part. And so if you had 5 friends that you talked to, then you could basically talk to those 5 idiots all the time for free. Which does what? It keeps the information locked within that cell. So when I used to go to the bar when I was younger, everybody would talk to each other. Now when you go to the bar, why would I want to talk to the guy next to me when I can just get on and text to my friend, right? I don't know, it seems a little mundane and inhuman to me, but that's what the world's become. Nobody talks to the guy next to him. So to make it more secure, I want you to make sure that you not only don't talk to this guy, I want you to make sure that you think that this guy's some kind of weirdo, that this guy can't be trusted. Don't even look at him. He's dangerous. He might be a killer. He might be a crazy glue sniffer. Well, Jerry Springer and Maury Povich and Oprah, they all have done the same thing that these shootings are doing. They present freaks. They show family demoralization. They bolster the young woman becoming the prostitute, the man running around sowing his oats wherever he wants to, and fathering children to walk out on. Basically, it is a big, and I'm just going to use this word because it really encompasses it. It's just, they're all the same. It's a big communist movement to break down moral and societal fabric. Because you do that, it's cheap, it's effective, and it really gets the point across. The anti-bullying thing. Come on, we all know that's silly. It's really retarded. I mean, it's so retarded. I'm going to say it. It's gay. I don't mean in the sexual way. I mean in the comical way. Bullying would have been what I would have done, pushing that kid from behind. I did forget to point out, though, if I would have booted that kid that was dancing around like that, passing off his code that Fox put up, at that stadium, I would have jumped from the top stair down onto his face, because that's how much I hate this shit. But, and if you guys get a chance, go back and look up the original footage of that. It's called Celtic Fan Goes Crazy, and you'll see the video. Okay? Watch at the very beginning. His mom starts tapping him. And so you can see that it was all pre-planned. He didn't just start going nutty like that. That shit was all set up. Just like the shooting was, and just like the TV is, because it's to make you not trust your neighbor. And then when that works, then make you not trust your mom or your dad or your kids. See, this is an old trick that they did in Nazi Germany in World War II. Most of you don't have any idea. or any studying about that. It's just a big fucking smoke and mirrors game. Everybody's innocent, but everybody's guilty. And so first the kids start ratting out kids for being bullies, and then they start ratting out their parents. Right? We already went through that, right? With Health and Human Services, with the kids, spanking your kid, you're going to go to jail, right? The Lord made me one ugly motherfucker, and thank him that he did. I ain't got no kids. Don't want them. Okay? I hate kids. Not kids in general as hating them because they're children. I hate kids because they ain't for me. I like other people's kids. Other people's kids are fine because they can go home. I don't want kids. I got animals. It's enough. So all of this stuff, all of these CGI videos of all of this crazy bullshit that ain't fucking working for the most part, because people are catching on now, see? Has in the at the very bottom line a very religious yet godless motive. It is a complete and utter takeover. If you saw McCleary's thing on communism, you know, to them, no matter how gross or fucked up and despicable it is, it's okay because they believe in their cause. To you and me, it's disgusting. So in this clip I'm going to play, listen to them, how they no longer call these things an AR-15. They're just calling it a rifle. Because, see, they do hear us. You know, like when I point out the AR-15, or like when you guys write in to Fox like you guys did. They know. They listen. They know that they get caught, so they got to change the game a little. Listen to this scumbag. Instead of calling it an AR-15, he goes, well, it was just some kind of an assault rifle. But before, oh, it's always an AR-15, always an AR-15. See, they're getting caught.
News organizations on the West Coast are reporting that the shooter is a Transportation Security Administration officer. The shooter is a Transportation Security Administration officer. That this agent was a TSA agent. And that the TSA agent took this rifle out of a bag, or took this shot, as it's been described to us. The authorities called it an assault rifle. I haven't seen it, but that's what they've called it, so that's what we'll call it until further notice. Took an assault rifle out of a bag and began to fire at people. Shot and, according to the reporting of the Los Angeles Times, killed another TSA agent. Then walked down the corridor toward the food court and where all of these gates are together, and fired off more rounds. And an officer, they were not specific, but we believe LAPD, though we don't have any way to know for sure because they weren't specific, engaged that suspect. Now, we've not heard any reports that this person has been described to us. The authorities called it an assault rifle. Rifle out of a bag, or took this shot, as it's been described to us. The authorities called it an assault rifle.
So now there's now see, they do hear you. Because when I made those 3 or 4 videos, especially when I caught them in that stupid video where they were supposedly, Fox was right there when they were pulling that AR-15 out of the garbage, you remember that? And his trunk was popped. The police car, remember that? Remember the AR-15, the R, the pirate, the Phoenician, the 1.5? You know, that's how they write code for their god. Right? That's their little code. See, so they do listen. They do hear you. And I mean, you guys are just as much of help with this as I am. So that's why in this particular clip, they didn't call it an AR-15. But they did it Sandy Hook. They did it the Navy shooting. All and these other shootings. It's always an AR-15. Because that's their logo for saying thumbs up, that we're doing the work of our God, which is the communistic domination, stick it up your ass, Nazism, Hebrew, Masonic, whatever you want to call it, fad that's going on right now to break down society. They have to break down society, and they're going to break down society, and we're not going to stop it, but at least we can let them know that we know that they're doing it. Right? And that's the best that we're going to get, because this golden age is going to happen. There's no way we can stop it. It ain't going to happen. And believe me, I wish that it could. But there's not enough people out there that are even interested in trying to stop it, let alone finding people to try and stop it. These guys are going to win, man. The Masons are going to win, and the Jews are going to win, and the Nazis are going to win. But in the end, they'll lose. Unfortunately, we won't be around to see it. You know, and you better start thinking about something else, too. These sinkholes that are popping up. There's a reason behind that. I'll get to that later. But for right now, I just wanted to, just explain why these things are going on. Biblically it says in those days, the fathers will turn against the sons and the mothers against the daughters, and the children will kill the parents. Well, it's not hard to make prophecy come true when you're the one that wrote the prophecy. Okay? In other words, he who hides something can find it. There's no magic, there's no prophecy. It just is because you created it.